Welcome to the Success Amplification Challenge. I am your challenge host, Elise Conroy. We are going to get to know each other so much better over the next 3 days together, and we are going to be working together on your success. Whatever that looks and feels like, we're going to figure that all out over the next 3 days. So I'm going to be here leading you through this experience. I'm so pumped to help you do two things. These are my only goals for you going into this challenge, is to help connect you with your most successful self and help you start taking action as that version of you. So over our time together, we are going to be looking at removing any blocks that are standing in your way of achieving the level of success that you desire. That is priority number one. That's what we're going to dive into today. Then we're going to go into building your success up formula that is going to be your success guarantee and just really make your success inevitable. And then we're going to develop your confident action plan. That's what I'm all about, is getting you into action. So that way you know exactly where you need to go next. There's no more drama. There's no more mind, confusion. You know what to do. And then you can just hit the ground running. So I'm going to be here with you as your coach over the next 3 days to really teach you exactly what needs to happen to get out of your own way and start creating this amplified success that I know you are capable of right now. So I'm going to be giving you a ton of stuff to work with. Get ready. I encourage you to take a ton of notes. I encourage you to come back to these videos because every time you watch this, you're going to get more out of it. You're going to hear a different golden nugget. You're going to hear more wisdom. You're going to get a different value out of the tools that I'm here to offer you, and really take these teachings that I am offering you to a very deeper level. So I encourage you to come back to these videos. And if you're finding value in these tools that I'm offering you, you're just finding like, oh my God, this is helping me so much, please share these videos with a friend. I find so many of us are on this journey and we have this idea of what we want to do, what our successful life is, but we actually don't know how to get there. So that is my whole entire mission. I really want to make sure every single woman has the tools that she needs to create whatever success she desires. I'm so passionate about this. And this is not something that we're taught in school. This is not something where it's like success 101. Here's what you need to do, right? And every single one of our journeys looks so different. So I want to make sure every single woman on the face of this earth has every single resource, every single tool that she needs to go to the next level in her life. So make sure you send this to your girls so that way we're not sitting here like, I don't know what to do, right? I don't know is not an answer in my world. We get clear and we get going. So this challenge is going to help you do exactly that. Really get clear on your vision of success. And then we're going to do the damn thing and start creating the success you desire. Okay, so how this challenge is going to work is every single day, a new video is going to hit your inbox. Then what you're going to do is watch the video and then do the success up exercises that I offer you in the videos. And then you're going to email me for coaching. So this is the first time ever I have opened up my email inbox for you to really service you above and beyond the challenge, because what I don't want for you is to get stuck and you're like, okay, this is really great what she's saying, but like, what do I do with this? Or where do I go next? And find yourself in that place of confusion and not taking action, right? A confused mind never makes a decision, and a confused mind always stays in action. So we don't want you in inaction. No. So we want you making sure that you feel so supported, that you feel so like, oh my God, I know exactly what to do next. I want you having that level of clarity and certainty. So every single day, if you have a question, if you find yourself like, I don't know what to do next, just email me. soulmakeupcustomercare@gmail.com. And we're going to walk through this together. You have me as your coach in your back pocket to champion you and creating whatever success you desire. So I want you to take advantage of that. This is something I've never offered before, but I just want you to make sure you have somebody who can answer the questions, who can get you out of your own head, because when you're in your head, you're dead. So we don't want you spending any time overthinking this. We just want you asking for the support that you need. So don't hesitate. I find a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to bother her. No, that's the whole reason we're doing this. That's why I'm opening my inbox up for you, is because I want to support you. So lean in and ask for what you need. This is my biggest encouragement to you, because when you ask for what you need, you get exactly what you want. So make that your mission, is to help yourself get out of your own way in whatever capacity to start stepping into becoming the woman who creates all of the success that you desire. Okay. Are you ready to amplify your success with me? I'm so excited. Okay. If you are new to my world, firstly, welcome. As I mentioned, I'm Elise Conroy, and I'm a coach, retreat, and workshop leader. I also do a lot of speaking, and I'm the host of the Confidence Lounge podcast. So I am here to essentially guide you, because I truly believe that every woman is limitless. I truly believe we all have so much potential, but a lot of us have these unconscious or self-imposed glass ceilings that are limiting us. And not on my watch am I ever going to sit back and watch another woman not have the tools that she needs to go to the top. I don't do insecure business. I don't do fear-based business. I don't do doubt-based business. I get all of that out of the way, so that way you can move forward as your most confident and secure self. So the days of playing small, the days of holding yourself back, back, or being in a place where you think that you can't do it, that all ends here right now with you and I having this conversation. So I am all about creating that really empowered, beautiful, confident, secure success, because I've watched women go to the top feeling the opposite, and it makes things really painful. It makes things really ugly. And I've had leaders who were in that position that they led with the fear, with the doubt, with the insecurity. And that is so cancerous for some of these beautiful organizations that we are working for. So we don't have any time for that, right? So I'm all about you shattering any glass ceiling, breaking through any limit that is keeping you from getting to where you want to be and where I know you can go. Okay. So I want to open this conversation up by first talking about something so important, and that is the top 3 success blocks. So if we don't know where we're blocked, we obviously can't move forward. Change begins when we actually see what changes need to be made. So if we're never actually diving in and revealing the blocks that are keeping us stuck, obviously we're not going to be clear on how to move forward. We're not going to know. So I want to reveal these 3 things first, just to see if this is where you at. And there is no shame in this, no judgment. We're just purely looking at this through the lens of curiosity, right? I want you to think of yourself as just an investigator. We're just investigating information. We're seeing if this is where we're at. Because once again, when you actually see it, then you can do something about it. But for so many of us, we're scared to see the truth. Or if we see the truth, then we're beating ourselves up for it. We don't do that here. I don't have any time for any sort of judgment, any sort of beating yourself up. We just want to get you out of the place of not knowing, so that way you can know, so you can do. Okay, so I have coached hundreds of women on creating success. And these are the top 3 things that I see coming up again and again and again that is keeping them and keeping you from having what you want. So let's see if this is what's potentially happening for you right now. So the first part is we don't know what we want, right? So it's like, think of you're driving through life with a windshield on your car and it's very dirty and you can't see it. And you're like, well, I hope I get there. So we've got to get clear on what you want, so that way you can actually move forward from a place of clarity and certainty to your destination. The second block that I see is you believe what you want is impossible. So either you're sitting in a place where you're like, yeah, I could never do that, or, oh, only she could do that, right? That's not for people like me. No, you can do anything you put your mind to, and I'm going to show you that over our next 3 days together. And the third block that I see is we get stuck in the pattern of settling for less because we don't feel good enough, or we don't feel worthy or deserving of more. So you get into the space where you're taking action from a place of not feeling good enough, right? So no matter what you do, it's never enough. No matter how you think about yourself, it's never good enough. You're always seeking out outside validation. You're always in a place where you're like, yeah, I should have done more. I should have, could have, would have, right? And when we're in that place of disempowered thinking, we're never going to truly step into living our highest potential, because we're always going to not feel good as we get there, right? We're always going to be like, yeah, I don't deserve that. We're not going to be asking for more, which once again leaves us in a pattern of settling for less. So let me recap these 3 blocks, right? So you don't know what you want. You believe having what you want is impossible, or you are stuck in the pattern of settling for less because you don't feel good enough or worthy and deserving of more. So you might be going through one of these 3 things. You might be going through all of these 3 things. I know I have definitely lived in that place of living all 3 of these things in my life, and I don't want to do that anymore, right? So I made a commitment to myself years ago that I'm not going to play this game with myself anymore. I'm going to truly step into being the woman who does what she says she's going to do, who lives up to my limitless potential, who is the audacious badass that goes after what people tell me is impossible. I don't subscribe to impossibility. And my invitation for you, and you're going to learn so much more about this as we go through this challenge, is to do the same. So I truly believe all of us are capable of whatever it is that we decide we want to do. We just have to learn how to remove the limits and create a mindset that sets us up for that success to actually do what it is that we want to do. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper into these, just to contextualize these things, to get you a little more insight into why these things end up being blocks. So when we are in a place where we've never defined what we wanted, I was actually just having a conversation with my mom about this, because my mom is fighting stage 4 cancer, and she just kept saying to herself, this isn't what my golden years were supposed to look like. This isn't what my retirement was supposed to look like. And I'm like, well, what did you think it was going to look like? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, how can you live your best golden years and your best retirement life if you don't even know what it is? And we start laughing. She's like, I don't know. And I find this to be so common for so many women, is we want to live our best life. We want success, but we've never even defined what that is. Or we're in this pattern of thinking, oh, well, look what she has over there. It has to be like that. And then we're trying to be like somebody else. And that's never what we truly wanted. Or we're just living up to society standards, or maybe our parents' standards of, well, you have to do this, you have to have this, or else you're not successful. But what do you truly want? at the core of it? What does success truly look and feel like to you? What does living your best life actually look and feel like to you? Because when we get into a place where we don't know, our brain just sees that as true. It's like, cool, you've answered the question. I don't know is an answer. So if somebody asks you, what does your most successful life look like? And you're like, I don't know. Your brain's gonna be like, cool, we answered that question, moving on to the next thing, right? Your brain's just doing what it's designed to do. So when we believe that we don't know, that will always block us from truly being in a place where we are living a life of success and having everything that we want. I don't know, to me, is one of the biggest mindset blocks that I see women living with. So I want you to really challenge your brain. If your brain offers you the answer of, I don't know, what if I did know? What if I did paint that picture for myself? What would that look like? And just be on to yourself, because we don't want to stay at that surface level not knowing. It's always going to keep you from accessing your deeper truth and keep you in that pattern of thinking that that answer is always outside of you, right? And when we get into that place, we don't trust our knowing. We just think, oh, I don't know. And we just move on, right? So I find this to be so common with the women that I work with inside of the CAN program, which is my one-to-one flagship coaching program. And one of the first things I do is I start digging into, what do you really want? So what is your dream salary? I don't know. Who's your dream partner? I don't know. What's your dream job? I don't know. If you could get on a plane and go anywhere right now, where would you go? I don't know, right? So we've got to get beneath that first, I don't know. Because if we're in a place where we always believe that we don't know, we're never going to have what we want. So I want you to start thinking about this right now, because if you believe you don't know, you're guaranteed to stay exactly where you're at. So if you want to grow, you have to eliminate I don't know as the answer that you offer yourself and instead start deciding. And I know for a lot of us, decision making is super scary, but when you start making decisions from a place of certainty, that is one of the most powerful energies that you can ever get into. When you are certain about what you want, certain about where you're going, certain about who you are, that is one of the most powerful attraction and creation energies. So what is the success you truly desire? What does having success actually feel like to you? Because for a lot of us, we think, oh, it's making this amount of money. But if you're killing yourself, if you're working at a soul-sucking job, if you are going through working at a very corporate, toxic culture to where you feel like your soul is being sucked every single day to make a six-figure salary, is that really what you want to feel like in your path to creating success? I know that didn't work for me. I spent almost 2 decades of my life getting to that point. I lived my dream job, but then I got to the top and I was like, this can't be what it's supposed to be like. This can't be what success actually is, because I felt terrible. I was super unhealthy. I didn't even know who I was when I looked in the mirror because I'd lost myself along the way. So I want you to think about, what does success actually feel like to you? And how will you know when you achieve it? That's a really important metric. Is it making a certain amount of money? Is it having time freedom? Is it having a certain material thing? Is it having love and a supportive relationship? Is it having a family? What does success look and feel like to you? This is so critical for you to understand. Now, I want you to think also about, if you had this idea of what success was and you were clear here, what right now is blocking you from having that? So I want you to think about, if you were going through an experience, right, where you're like, okay, here's where I am now, here's where I want to be, right? Just as simple as you were saying, I'm going to go to this destination and I need to get on a plane and I'm going to land here, right? Very simple. What is keeping you from actually being at your destination? Is it something to where you have a limit, to where you already subscribe to impossibility? You think it's not possible. It's one of the 3 blocks that we talked about earlier. You don't feel good enough. You feel like, oh yeah, I'm not the person that could ever do that. Like, what is that for you? I was actually going through an experience with my client, and I will literally draw what I put for her, and because I have something else on the whiteboard for you that I'm going to show you in a second, but I want to show you as simple as what I showed her, because this literally was so valuable for her to see. So what I showed her is, okay, so there's you now, and then there's you at your destination, right? So whatever success looked like. And for her, that was being in a place where she had her own business, she was traveling regularly, she was taking really good care of herself. So what what I showed her, hold on, let me finish. Okay. So what I showed her is, she is here and she wants to go here, but there is something that is blocking her, right? So this is my really advanced drawing. Obviously, I'm not an artist. So you now, your destination, and what is blocking you? And she sat there for a second. She's like, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. And I was like, why? Why? Like, you want to live your best life. Why are we not taking action to get towards that place right now? And she's like, I just have never really thought about it. So what is your block? For her, it was waiting. What is that for you? This is so valuable to understand about yourself, right? So if we were literally drawing the block, what would that block be for you? Because I find for a lot of people, it's doubting that they can. It's feeling like they aren't deserving. It's perfectionism. It's people pleasing. It's feeling like they're too tired, right? Feeling like they're too busy, being embarrassed to fail or fearing failure, or they're in a pattern of just thinking, well, it's too late for me. So I guess, yeah, that ship has sailed, right? They feel like they need more education or information. What is that for you? Do you see it as impossible? Do you just think, oh, yeah, I wasn't put on this earth to do that? Why not? I really want you to challenge that. I want you to challenge whatever it is that is keeping you blocked right now and just think about what are all the ways this could be possible. Let your brain just get crazy and start stepping into this place of dreaming, which we're going to do in a very powerful way in just a minute, and just allow yourself to see how could it be possible? Because it is. Okay. So that is our first step of this is really looking at where are you blocking yourself? What is success to you? What does it look and feel like? And getting clear on both what it looks like, what it feels like, and where you're blocked. So that way you can move forward. Because once we see it, once we understand what's keeping us from it, then we can actually step into it. Okay. Here is how you're going to step into it. I have a very simple 3-step process that I want to offer you. I call this my success up formula. And this is something that has been so powerful for every single woman that has used this. And I want this to be a very valuable tool that you keep in your tool belt. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to apply every single step. And then I'm going to take you through a visualization to get you into the space of really seeing how this looks, what this feels like when we actually apply this in real time. So this is a very simple formula. And when you actually start to apply this formula and start putting energy behind this and start getting intentional and start being mindful about bringing your brain here and making this a focus, thinking about applying this formula a priority, your success is just going to become inevitable because it's at the forefront of your brain. You're actually actively creating this for yourself by applying these 3 specific steps. So I'm going to run you through the 3 steps and then I'm going to talk through each of the steps on a deeper level. So the first step is we've got to define it. As I mentioned a second ago, we got to get clear, right? So what do you truly want and why? And think about it from a desire level, right? Like, what do you truly desire at this point of your life? Because I find for a lot of us, we get to this place in life where we've outgrown our dreams and we're living this outdated model. We're still trying to live up to somebody else's standards for us, and we're not tapping into our heart or our true desires or like listening to our intuition and our gut and letting that lead us. So, what do you truly want and desire and why? That's step 1. Step 2 is creating done energy. So if you have never heard about done energy before, girl, what are you waiting for? I'm so excited to introduce this to you because it is going to change your life. It is going to have you showing up in a completely different way. And it really starts by identifying who would I be and what would my life be if it was already mine. So meaning if the success you desire was already yours, who would you be and how would you be showing up? What would your life look like? So we're going to dive into that deeper in just a second. And step 3 of my 3-step success up formula is to be it. And that requires you to show up as the woman who has what she wants now. Right. So I love thinking of becoming your future self now by already showing up as her. Right. It's like some people say that's fake it till you make it. I don't subscribe to that. Right. Like I think it's really looking at it from a place of intention of saying, if I was already here, how would I be thinking now? How would I be deciding now? How would I be treating myself now? What work would I be doing now? Because when we start showing up as future us now, you're going to become future you that much faster. It is the most beautiful way to collapse time and just start showing up as the version of you who's already where she wants to be, right? So we're going to do that in a very powerful way in just a moment by really defining what that version of you looks and feels like. So just get ready. Your life is about to change. Okay. So let's go deeper into each of these 3 steps. So first, when we talk about defining it. So this is really getting into that place of what do I truly want and why? No, I don't know is allowed. So if your brain just offered you, I don't know, we're going to challenge that. So what do you find yourself just thinking about? Like you just sit at your desk and you're like, oh, like I would love to do that. And then your brain talks you out of doing it. What is that thing? Because I know there's something inside of you right now that's like whispering to you, like, hey, what would life look like if we did that? Like the grass is greener over here, right? Like where is that place in your mind that you are not tapping into or that you're telling yourself like, oh, that's too crazy. I could never do that. That's too much. That's too hard. It'll take too much time, right? Like, what is that place for you? And what is it about what your brain says that keeps you from actually doing that thing, right? So if you had everything right now and that life that you are dreaming of was actually your life right now, what would your life look like? So when people tell me they don't know, it just tells me two things. And that's one, they haven't actually created the space to think about this on a deep and intentional level and really allow themselves to dream about that from a place of intention and really get honest with themselves about what they want at this point of their life. And two, they haven't made any decisions about what they truly want. So when we go through the CAN program, that's my signature coaching program. Once again, we actually start off with this exercise called needs, wants, desires. So what I have my clients do is we look at what do you need, like fundamental day to day, like as vital as food and water and shelter, right? Like what are your basic needs? That could just be a hug from your partner. It could be some puppy cuddles, right? Like whatever your day to day needs are, we look at that. Then we look at, okay, what's the next level up? If you had a want, like something that would be nice to have, but not a need, what would that actually look like? And then we go straight to the stratosphere of desire. And I always make a joke. I'm like, okay, if you're getting on your favorite colored unicorn, going straight to the stratosphere of impossible, what would you be desiring? And some people say, I'd love to be interviewed by Oprah. I know all my entrepreneurs, that's a huge goal for them. The women that I work with in corporate are like, oh, vacation home in the Mediterranean. I'd love to have this amount of money in the bank. I'd love to have this car. I'd love to have this house. I'd love to have, this job title, whatever it might be, right? But for so many of us, when I do that exercise, we look at that desires category and they're like, yeah, that's not possible. And I'm like, why? Why is it not possible? You just decided it's not possible, right? It's 100% possible. And it is so surreal because out of the hundreds of women that I've worked with, they are now living where those desires are now their reality. So the only thing standing in between you and whatever lives in your hypothetical desires category is a belief that is limiting you from really, truly at your core believing that you are capable of creating that for yourself. So if you were to do that exercise for yourself, you write down your needs, you write down your wants, you write down your desires, what would live in each of those categories? Because it's going to show you a lot about what you truly want. And I want you to be in a place where you don't put boundaries on dreaming, because so many of us are in that place where we're automatically committing to failure ahead of time because we're like, oh yeah, that's impossible, right? No, I want you to see what your best life would actually look like versus sitting in a place right now, right, where you're like, I have zero clue of what that is, right? That ends when you coach with me. That ends through this conversation right now, because I'm a blue sky dreamer. There is no limit to what I see is possible, right? I'm an activator and I'm a developer. So if you roll with me, we're gonna get this shit done. We're going to get you into a place where you truly believe I am the woman who does that. I am that woman who creates that. And you're just going to go do that thing, right? I truly believe you are limitless. I believe I'm limitless too, because every single thing that I put my mind to, I create, right? Used to do this before I became a coach. I was developing products. I developed thousands of products in the beauty industry. There's a really good chance that something that I've created currently lives in your bathroom. I've created products for 92 countries in this world, thousands of SKUs. So every time my brain would see it, I'm like, cool, I'm going to go create that. And then it would literally exit my brain. And then it would be on the shelves of Sephora or Ulta or Target or any of some of the biggest retailers in the world, right? So I see that now with ideas and potential and people. I truly do not believe there is any cap on our potential. So when you allow yourself to dream, when you allow your brain just to go crazy and get into that place of not having limits or boundaries on what is possible, you're going to start to be able to offer your brain the most beautiful gift of seeing it. And then once your brain can see it and you start just dreaming without boundaries, your brain's going to be like, cool, let's go do that. That seems amazing. And you're not going to talk yourself out of it, right? So when we get clear, when we get specific, when we get into this place of really feeling certain, you enter that massive master attraction and creation energy, which is where I want to see you living your life, right? So living your most successful life is going to begin when you give yourself permission to really understand what success looks and feels like to you and really get honest with yourself. And don't apologize if you want it to be big, right? Do not minimize yourself and say, oh, that's too crazy. That's too much. People like me aren't capable of that, right? Literally take away whatever limits people have offered you. So if your parents said, no, you could never do that, why not? Right? The only thing standing in between you and doing that is you attaching to a belief that somebody offered you. And that belief might not fit you anymore. So let go of that belief. Let go of a limit that somebody has offered you and instead step into that master attraction and creation energy that is fueled by that beautiful certainty, that beautiful specificity, and that beautiful clarity that we're going to create for you today. Okay. So I want to give you an example of what it actually looks like to be that clear, that specific, and that certain. Because I find for a lot of us, we'll say, oh, I want to be successful. Okay, well, once again, what does that look and feel like, right? I want to be a better mom. Okay, what does that look and feel like? I want to do better at work. I want to make more money, right? You're never going to get more. You're never going to be better if you don't actually get clear on the specifics, right? So I'm going to walk you through an example that I wrote down of how to get level 10 specific. And this might seem like, okay, this is crazy, but this is literally when I say specific, when I say certain, when I say clear, this is what I'm talking about. This is you cleaning off the window of your car to drive to your destination and you know exactly where you're going every step of the way because you are that crystal clear on your vision, right? Okay. So I'm going to walk you through a scenario and I have a couple examples in here so you can just put in what your dream would be. And we're going to just pretend for a second that we are writing this vision for ourselves. And I want you to then do this for yourself with this level of specificity, this level of clarity, and this level of certainty. So here's the example that I have for you. So we're going to step into our decision-making role, right? Because we are the leaders of our life. That's what we do. We make certain insecure decisions. So I am deciding that I want to make $200,000 per year. If that doesn't feel true, insert whatever salary works for you, right? Working for blank company, insert the name of the company you want to work for, and that might be your own, right? So I want to make X amount of money working for X company in wearing X title. So whatever title that is for you, let's say you want to be a VP of marketing. Let's say you want to be a CEO. Let's say you want to be a director of whatever. Doesn't matter. So enter those three metrics for yourself. So how much money you want to make, where you want to work, and the title you want to wear. And then when I make that amount of money, my first step, and this is where we're going to get really clear. Ready? Okay. My first step is to pay off all my debt and start a vacation fund. Because when I step into that level of thinking I have no debt and there's nothing holding me back, I just live my best life. And my best life looks like the first thing I'm going to do is going to the Maldives, right? Who else wants to go to the Maldives? This is like one of the number one places that I want to go right now. So this is 100% driving this vision, right? You're going to hear my own vision for myself. Okay, so I'm going to reward myself with a trip to the Maldives for getting my dream job and making this next level salary and getting myself out of debt. And when I stay in the Maldives, I'm going to stay in an overwater bungalow for 10 days. And I'm going to stare at that crystal clear aqua water. I'm going to feel that warm sea breeze coming through my hair. I'm going to start my day off with yoga and meditation and green juice and the most beautiful array of rainbow colored fruits that are so sweet and so delicious. And why don't they taste like this in the US? And I'm going to get lost in this moment of just staring because I have nowhere else to be. I'm fully present. And I'm in this place of just really feeling like, oh my God, I've made it. I am celebrating myself because I had this vision. I did it. I made it happen for me. And I'm going to come home grounded and I'm going to come home tan. And I am going to feel fully recharged and so proud of myself for getting clear and making this vision my reality. Then once I get home, I'm going to hit the ground running and I'm going to create a savings plan because I'm going to buy my house. I know exactly what area I want to live in. I want to live in the hills with a beautiful view of the sunset. I want to have a beautiful backyard with a pool that looks like an oasis surrounded by palm trees. I want to have a closet that I could literally do cartwheels in because it's so big that looks like a retail store to showcase all of the beautiful things that I own. I want to have a bathroom that feels like a spa and it's going to be the place where I take the most luxurious care of myself every single day. I want to pay $3,000 a month for this house, plus have $1,000 surplus that I can put in my savings account. So that way I'm always ahead. I'm always creating a cushion for myself. And I want to have this within a year. And I'm working on a support team to help me get there, made up of a financial advisor. So I know exactly what I need to do to get in this place to purchase a home. I am going to work with a coach on my mindset and understanding what I need to do to remove any limits from getting there and keep myself accountable for showing up as the version of me who's creating this life. And I'm going to work with a nutritionist and a fitness coach to make sure that I am taking care of my body so I can show up fully recharged and healthy every single day to do the work that I do. And I'm going to work with a realtor so that way I can get pre-approved and they can start sending me listings. So that way when the house becomes available, I'm ready to go. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly where I want to be. I have the right people around me to make it happen. It's done. Listen to what happens when I'm that specific, that clear, and that certain. The energy changes. Your brain can see it. Did you just picture yourself in the Maldives? Because I could smell that fruit as I was saying that, right? You get a taste of what it's like to actually have it because you can see it. Your brain's like, oh, I want to go to the Maldives. Okay. And all of a sudden you're researching flights. You're like, oh, it's actually not as expensive as I thought. Yeah, it might take a long time to get there, but it's so worth it once I get there, right? So your brain can start piecing together how to make it happen for you. But when you lack the specificity, when you lack the certainty and you're like, oh, I don't know, would I go to the Maldives or would I go to Bora Bora or would I go to the Bahamas? I don't know. Next thing you know, a year has gone past and you're not on your dream vacation. When you think to yourself, I don't know how much I want to pay for my mortgage. Oh, I don't know how to get pre-approved. I don't even know where to start working with a realtor. you're never going to step into getting your house. It's always going to seem like a pipe dream because it's ever so slightly out of reach, right? When you think of getting your dream job, and you don't know who you want to work for, you don't know how much money you want to make, you don't know what title you want, you're going to go in the interview process feeling like very disempowered. You're going to be feeling like, oh, I just have to settle for what they give me because I don't really know. Like, is there anything else out there? I better stick with this because what if there's nothing more out there? No. When you start getting crystal clear on the job, the house, the trips, whatever you want, it's going to come to you with ease because you already created it. It's already done in your mind. You've seen it. And this is what happened for my client Nicole. She was very, very clear on a specific beauty brand she wanted to work for. I work with a lot of beauty clients. I think, my my beauty history like dies hard, right? 75% of my clientele is beauty clients, but I went through the process of working with her on this vision of what she wanted for her role. And she had a very specific number in mind. She had a wellness package. She wanted to get stock options. She wanted to get 3 weeks vacation. She wanted to have unlimited sick time. She wanted to have a fashion budget, a car budget, right? Literally, we just did this vision, got in the alignment, started getting her into the place where she was thinking of this job, what it would be like to have it, what she would feel like on her first day, what she would wear to her interview, what she would wear at her first day, what the work she would actually be doing was. We spent 3 months dedicating so much energy into this vision. And you cannot make this shit up. I've seen it happen hundreds of times. It is so effing cool when it actually happens. Nicole calls me and she's like, oh, and I'm like, amazing. Because that's what you do when you get clear, when you get specific, and when you get certain. Guaranteed. This is your success guarantee. We're going to even take this to the next level in just a second. So I want you to just start to identify as the woman who knows what she wants, the woman who can create this vision for herself from a place of certainty and clarity. And I want you to just try on this identity for a second and just see how it feels, right? So when you think to yourself, I'm a woman that knows what she wants, did that make you sit a little taller? Did it make you feel like, yeah, a woman who knows what she wants, right? Like, what did that make you feel? Did you instantly reject it? Like, no, I don't know what I want. And you're like, no, Elise, you don't understand. I have a track record of all these failures and I messed up here and da 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 da. Like, did you start immediately creating evidence as to how you are not that? Because if so, that is showing me a beautiful growth opportunity presenting itself is to step in to that version of you that knows what she wants, right? So I want you to start every day just practicing that belief of, I know what I want today. I am the woman who knows what she wants today. And that could be as simple as, I know I want to have green juice for breakfast and a pumpkin spice latte, right? We're stepping into fall. I'm all about that pumpkin spice vibe right now, right? Because when you start thinking of yourself in that way, two very specific things are going to happen. You're going to get more decisive, which is going to save you so much time, so much stress and anxiety and worry, right? You're going to get so much time in your day back because you're not doing all that mental brain damage, worrying about making the wrong decision, overthinking it, stepping into compare and despair and analysis paralysis and all the hideous things, right? So you're going to give yourself the gift of not having that stress, that anxiety, that worry, and get so much more time in your day back. And the second thing that's going to happen is once you feel certain and you really are feeling secure with your decisiveness, you are going to amplify your confidence at light speed because you're going to be doing, you're going to be taking action as that version of you that knows what she wants, right? And as a byproduct, you're going to naturally start attracting what you want with ease because certainty attracts. Uncertainty causes confusion, which repels. So the best way to not get what you want and not create the success you desire is to stay in that pattern of uncertainty fueled confusion. Because once again, a confused mind never decides. A confused mind just stays confused. And have you ever been in a meeting with somebody and they're like, I'm confused. I'm like, about what? Let's get you clear, right? I don't deal with confusion because confusion is nothing more than a success block that is keeping you from having what you want right now. So your way to start getting out of confusion is to A, stop overthinking, and B, start making decisions through the lens of certainty. Okay. All right, so that is step one. That is defining it, right? You just really saw what it looks like to get specific, clear, and certain. Step two of this is to get into done energy. And you already see my face light up just because when people have never heard of this before, literally understanding this concept changes the course of the rest of their life. So when you get into done energy, if you've never heard of this before, well, I just want to explain this for just a second. So done energy is really getting into the space of starting to show up as the woman who already has what she wants. In your mind, you believe it's done. You've already arrived at your destination. You're like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, right. Like this is just my reality. It's happened. That's the way that you are just navigating the world. So when you are in that level of done energy, fueled by that certainty of it's happening, right? You don't need to do anything else to make it happen because in your mind, it's done. So when you've laid down that belief work of, I believe that this is possible, I'm becoming the woman who is making this thing happen, here's all the things that I want, Here's the steps that I'm taking, right? When you start getting into that belief work and you've done that from a mindset standpoint, that's where you really start operating in the mindset of being the woman who already has it. So that's done energy, right? When you live in that mindset, you're going to attract what you want with ease because in your mind, it's already done. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to think about anything else. And when you get to that place, you're no longer trying to shortcut. You're no longer trying to rush things. You're just trusting the process. You're trusting you're exactly where you're at. You're not ahead. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. Everything is working because it's already done, right? So when you're in that having done energy, it's going to propel you forward with so much less brain damage, so much less wasting of energy, so much less confusion, and you're going to arrive at your destination from a place of just really being in that place of grounded certainty because you were the person who already had it. You were taking action as that version of you the whole entire time. And when you take action from the place of believing that it's done, then it's inevitable, right? We're going to walk through that in just a second. So when you embody that energy, it's really like releasing the pressure valve of trying to force things to happen because it's done and it has no time frame. It's just happening, right? Like you don't have to try to control anything because it's just happening. You truly believe it's done. So I think doing this is so fun. So I want to walk you through a quick visualization to get you into the place of experiencing what it's like to feel done energy. Because once you can find that feeling of done in your body, guess what's going to happen? It's done. You're like, okay, Elise, calm down, calm down. But when we get into the place of creating done energy, it's really taking this connection between your minds. So connecting your brain to your body and creating that deep belief and certainty running through you. So that's what you're taking action from, right? So the way that our brain works is we have circumstances that happen in life. We have thoughts about it. Thoughts create feelings in our body. We're going to talk a lot about this tomorrow in day 2. And then how we feel determines what actions we take. And that's what creates the results that we have. So it is so important to make sure whatever you are feeling is a way that you want to feel. So I want you feeling certain. I want you feeling in belief and feeling like you can trust that it's going to happen and feeling like it's done, right? Because then that's going to totally change how you feel as you start to take action. Imagine if you're taking action from the place of believing it's never going to happen, from feeling fear, from feeling full of doubt, from feeling uncertain, from feeling insecure. That's going to produce a very different set of results for you. And every single thought we have is going to have a different model that produces a different result, right? This is what I teach the women that I work with one-to-one, because when you can get to that level of intentionality of seeing this exact thought created this result, that is mindset work at its finest, because then you can literally say, this is the result I want to create. What do I need to think to get there? What do I need to feel? What actions do I need to take? It is a formula that will serve you for the rest of your life. So if you want to learn that, come coach with me. I'll teach it to you. Okay. So I want you to think about something that you want the most in your life right now. It could be a certain amount of money, a certain job, a person, maybe it's your dream partner, right? It could be a baby. What is that thing for you? Is it a trip, a material thing, a house, a car? Is it just a life experience, right? Like, what is something you are just like, you can taste it, you want it so bad. It's what you're working so hard for, right? What is that thing for you? So I want to play with this for a second because I want you to really have an understanding of what you, the most successful version of you, the most secure and certain and clear you feels like, right? So I'm going to connect you with her through the art of this visualization. So I'm going to lead you through a very powerful experience right now. If you have never done a visualization, I want you to just make space for this to be weird, for you to feel like what is going on, for you to, have to do some work to constantly bring yourself back to this, because for people who have never done this before, it's kind of like a guided meditation, right? It's very easy for our brain to stray or for our brain to be like, I don't understand what's happening right now, but I want you to just trust the process and trust that whatever is meant to come up for you, whatever you see, whatever you experience is exactly what you were supposed to experience. So here's how this is going to work. So we're going to do some dreaming together because dreaming is one of the most powerful activation tools that you can ever offer your brain. This is why I do so much coach or so much one-to-one work through visualization in the one-to-one work that I do, because when we can activate our brain and our brain can see where we want to go, it's going to be like, cool, let's go get there, right? Our brain is a problem-solving machine. So when you align the destination and your brain sees this is where we're going, it's going to remove all the barriers. It's going to start problem solving to get you to that place. But if we don't ever see it, once again, it can't help to get you there. So when we are in that place of just becoming adults, we see dreaming as such a waste of time. We're like, oh my God, this is stupid. This is for kids. And we don't do it, right? So it seems like this childlike activity and we don't make it a priority. But this is why I help the women that I work with see that this is the number one priority. And you're going to learn on day 3 about a very powerful formula that I'm going to offer you. It's called the Diva formula, that's going to teach you how to do this on a very, very easy level. So when we're dreaming, when we're doing these visualizations, you are essentially creating really powerful screenshots in your mind of your most successful life. That's what we're going to be visualizing on today. And then your brain is going to get to work seeing how that could be a reality. Oh my God, because once your brain can see it, then it's going to be like, yeah, that could happen. And then guess what happens when it believes that it could happen? It's going to start doing. And then all of a sudden you're going to do, and then you're going to be there, right? So this is going to be a very powerful way to connect destination where you are now, and then we're going to bridge the gap and how to get there, right? So I want you to know there is no right or wrong way to do this. Whatever you see is perfect. I don't want, for all you perfectionists out there, I don't want you in your head being like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? No, there is no right or wrong way, right? Like every visualization that I lead somebody through is going to look completely different because it's your own mind interpretation. So some people might see this like a movie in the screen of their mind. Some people might see colors. Some people might see shapes. Some people might see words pop across. Some people might just have a feeling in their body that's very powerful. So however it comes up for you is perfect. So I want you to call in the feeling of trust, the feeling of safety, that whatever you see is exactly what you are meant to see. So how this is going to work is we're going to close our eyes together for a second. I know that might feel scary, but I've got you. I've got you every step of the way, and I'm going to guide you through this visualization to really help you empower yourself to create this movie in the screen of your mind. And if you're not super visual, that's okay too. Once again, however it comes up is perfect. And I want you to just take mental notes of what you see and then allow whatever is meant to reveal yourself to come up and just once again trust yourself, right? We're going to release any judgment about, oh God, what was that? That was weird. Don't second guess it. Don't judge it in the moment. Just let it come up. Be gentle, be compassionate with yourself. Just focus on allowing, right? We're allowing energy. So I'll be holding the safe space for you to let this all happen. Okay. So you ready to dream with me? All right. Here's what I want you to do is I want you to just really ground in right now to this space. So it's just you and I, nothing else outside of this moment matters. And I want you to start the process of just breathing, just connecting in with your breath. Our breath is our life force. Our breath is what is designed to keep us alive through that beautiful air in our lungs. So let's just slow things down. Just let any distractions from the day go. And what I want you to do is just get 10 to 15% more comfortable. If you want to lay down, you can lay down, but just really ground into this space. So if you need to sink in, just sink in. However you are most comfortable is perfect. Okay, so continue breathing. And when you are ready, I want you to close your eyes and just allow yourself to be guided by my voice as we go on this journey together. All right, so let's take in one more cleansing breath. Just release out anything that is keeping you from being present with me right here, right now. Okay, to begin, I want you to picture yourself in a place where you feel safe, a safe place where you feel the most yourself. Really sink into this space, let go of anything that is taking you out of being present with this moment. Just let things slow down and get still in this safe space. Our best ideas come in the place of stillness. So breathe into the stillness and create even more space to allow your dream in. Now, I want you to think back to a moment ago when I asked you what you were dreaming about the most right now in your life. What is it that you want right now? Is it a specific job, the partner, the baby, the house, the trip, a certain amount of money? What is it for you? I want you to picture yourself getting even clearer here. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And if you were to get even more specific, what does that look like? Really feel in to what it would be like to have this thing that you want the most right now. Now, I want you to imagine being the woman who has given herself everything she has ever wanted, and just let that vibrate in her body. You are the woman who has given yourself every single thing you've ever wanted. How does that feel? You did it. Really sink into having it. Really sink into the bliss that comes along with what you've created. I want you to take one big deep breath in and really just let that vision get even clearer. Now, I want you to think about this thing that you want so much that you just saw. What is it that's holding you back right now from having this? Is it a belief in what you can do? Is it a way you feel about yourself? Is it your past? Is it a person? I want you to picture whatever block just came up for you, whether that is a person, a feeling, a fear, and I want you to picture it vividly in the screen of your mind and really feel this block. Feel it like a wall that you are hitting up against. And I want you to picture yourself breaking through that wall. I want you to picture that wall dissolving. Your block is gone. It's vanished. You are free. There's nothing standing in your way of creating exactly what you just saw. Really feel what it's like to be this free. Breathe in freedom. Exhale your block. And as this feeling of freedom washes over you, I want you to picture a door right in front of you. And in a moment, this door is going to open and your future self is about to walk in. This is your most successful self, the you that is living her most successful life, the you that has everything she has ever wanted. But before future you reveals herself, I want you to pause and take a big deep breath in, a breath so deep that it reaches deep, deep within your bones. And now, with that excitement and the anticipation running through you, picture that door right in front of you slowly starting to open. And now picture your future self walking through. This future self is the you that's dreams are now her reality. The you that knows she's so smart, she is so capable, she is beyond good enough and worthy. She is deserving of all of the success that she has created. And I want you to feel what her presence feels like. Picture her walking even closer towards you. Feel her energy. Notice her posture. Take note of what she's wearing. How does she feel? And how does she carry herself and her energy as she walks towards you? What do you admire about this version of you that you see? And how does seeing her make you feel? What is it that she has right now that you want in your life? Just take a second to really feel into this version of you. Now, this version of you has a message for you. I want you to take a big deep breath in and pause at the top and allow this message to enter your mind. And if nothing comes up, that's okay too. Now, take one more big deep breath in and feel the gratitude for the awareness that you have gained in this moment. And send your future most successful self love and thank her for her presence today. And as she begins to walk away, what has she shown you that you didn't know before today? What value did she have to offer you? And as she leaves this beautiful room that feels so safe, I want you to call in the feeling of done. And I want you to let that feeling of done vibrate in your body. Because the version of you that you just saw, she's already within you and she is ready to be born. She wants you to bring her out right now and do the work to become her, to think like her, to decide like her, to take care of her. And that is how you're going to become her that much faster. So let that feeling vibrate within you. Let that feeling of done get bigger, take up even more space, become even more powerful because it's done. Now, I want to close this visualization by repeating a few quick words. So you can repeat this out loud. You can repeat this just in your mind, but repeat after me. I am worthy of success. I am worthy of having everything I have ever wanted. I am worthy of being enough. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of my wildest dreams becoming my reality. I am a woman that knows what she wants. I'm smart. I am resourceful. I am enough. Now, as this visualization comes to a close, I want you to take a few deep breaths in and really allow yourself to feel this. Let that feeling vibrate through your body. And when you're ready, you can start to bring yourself back to this current moment. You can take one more big deep breath in, release anything that came up, release any further blocks. Start to feel the air on your skin. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome back. What'd you see? Oh, I'm dying to know how that went for you. How did it feel to feel done? Did it vibrate in your body? Was it powerful? Tell me everything. And if you need to, I would encourage you to just pause for a moment. You can pause this video and just reflect on what you actually saw. Get your journal, write down how she looked, how she felt, what that energy was, right? Just write down or just sit with it. Just sit into the vision. Just sit into any new insights, any new awareness, any new ideas, or any new clarity that this visualization just offered you. So you can pause me right now and just do that exercise for yourself, or you can just sit. Because, like I said, so many beautiful things come in the moment of stillness. We can't access our truth if our mind is literally a crazy, chaotic filled mess, right? Like a cluttered mind. Ugh, that's a dangerous place to live. And I know I lived in that place for a very long time. And it was when I got still that I was able to access my truth. So I always encourage you to come back to creating that inner peace for yourself. This whole idea of creating success, the whole idea of creating confidence, anything you want to feel, that's an inside job. So we have to do that from the inside out. And you just did that in a very powerful way through this visualization. So if you need to pause me, journal, sit with the vision, just feel into this. And then when you're ready, we'll come back into part 3. Okay. Step 3. Oh, I'm like, that visualization was so fun. I love doing visualizations. I think they are just such a powerful tool. So, okay, we're going to take this to the next level. You ready? All right. Step 3, be it. So you just saw it. You just saw it, right? So that version of you who already has all the success she desires, you just got a glimpse of it. You gave yourself that gift if you did that visualization, right? So when you start to show up is that version of you. There's going to be 3 phases you are going to have to navigate. So I'm going to bring my whiteboard over so you can see what's going on, right? So we already covered step 1, which is defining it, right? We took that to the next level through the visualization. You experience what it was like to go through the done energy. You experience that right now. Now we're going to go into step 3 of being it, right? So when you go into step 3, you're going to go into 3 specific stages of creating success. The 3 stages are impossibility, possibility, and inevitability, right? So as you take action, what's going to end up happening is you're going to shift yourself out of impossibility because you're already doing it. You're like, cool, I'm doing the thing, right? And once you start doing, then it becomes inevitable. So action is the way to get where you want to be. But here's the deal, is if we are in a place where we are subscribing to impossibility, we are just so like, oh, this is never going to happen. And that's the energy we're taking action from. We're going to block ourselves from inevitability, right? Because we're always going to end up stuck at stage 1. So how you know you're in stage 1 is you're going to have no belief. You're going to be like, yeah, that's no, right? Or you're going to be like, yeah, I can't, right? You're going to have a lot of excuses. You're going to have a lot of limits. There's going to be a lot of feelings that are holding you back. You're just going to have all the things directing you back into impossibility. And just so you know, your brain is always going to take you back here. That's your brain doing its job. Our brain is designed to help us feel safe and to stay as comfortable as possible and to use the least amount of energy. So your brain is always going to direct you back into impossibility, right? So that is your first growth opportunity. So in order to be it, right, step 3 of the 3-phase formula and be the woman who always gets what she wants and creates the success she desires, I want you to first start with navigating impossibility. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second, right? Because when we get into the place of overcoming this, now we're already stepping into, okay, possibility where you start taking action and you're like, cool, I'm doing it, right? Like I'm actually doing the thing. And when you do, that's when your confidence is going to come. So many of us do not do because we wait for the confidence, but that is literally backwards. Confidence is generated when you start taking action, right? So when you start doing, it is going to become inevitable. So you're going to be like, it's done, right? You get into your done energy, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, I did it. Oh my God, I did it. I am the woman that did it. Oh my God, right? And I cannot wait for you to experience this stage. This is my favorite stage. And I live for those moments when my clients call me and they tell me, they're like, oh my God, it's done, right? It is one of the most satisfying parts of doing this work, is because I help people unlock that potential to get into that place where it just becomes inevitable, right? Okay, so here's how we are going to get you into this place. So now that you've seen this and we've recapped this, there is a very specific exercise that I want you to do. And this is going to change the game for you, because it all starts with accountability, right? Because if right now you are in a place where you have subscribed to impossibility, that's a decision. You can decide differently after this conversation today to do things differently. So here is how this is going to work. We're writing this out. So I want you to think about successful me does and does not do. Okay. So when we are going through accountability, a lot of us are just, once again, in that success blocking mindset, right? We're just like, oh, I don't know, right? So we're not actually doing anything that shifts us into possibility. But by thinking of yourself, so that visualization we just did, that version of you that you just met, what does that version of you do and not do every day, right? Like, how is she thinking? How is she taking care of herself? What decisions is she making? And then what is she not doing? Because when we can get this laser clear, this is when shit starts to change. This is when impossibility, you're just like, yeah, I don't have any time for that. I'm in the land of possibility. And this is when you're going to be in perpetual breakthrough mode, right? It's just everything you're doing is getting you closer to where you want to be. And that is what's making it inevitable, right? So I want to give you some examples of what it would look like to live in both of these sides. So let's say you want to be in a place where you just get out of impossibility. So how we're going to get you there is you're going to believe in yourself. You're going to trust yourself. You're going to take action. You're going to have an elevation squad. And how I define elevation squad is a group of women that lifts me up and champions my success and reminds me of my greatness and does not let me play small. So you have a secure elevation squad of people who believe in you, who champion you every single day and are like, hey, go do the thing. I believe in you, right? So they're there to remind you of your greatness on the days where you might forget, because we all have those days, right? That's normal. Welcome to the human experience. This version of you is prepared. She has a secure mindset. She is clear on her priorities. She's doing high value tasks. She's making certain decisions. She has fun and she's actively doing things that bring her joy, because think about how much better life feels when we're actually having fun and enjoying it, right? It makes you so much more excited to show up and do other things on a more powerful level. You're investing in life experiences. You have a support team, right? So like I listed, maybe you have a coach, maybe you have a financial advisor, a realtor, whatever it might be, somebody who comes and cleans your house, somebody who takes care of your yard, and you're taking care of yourself because you deserve it, right? So that would be examples of what this version of you does. Now, what this version of you does not do is sitting there doubting herself. She's not overthinking and entering into paralysis or analysis paralysis. She's not feeding her fears. She's not quitting on herself. She's not sitting there believing she doesn't know. She's not living in compare and despair and thinking she needs to be more like somebody else in order to succeed. She's not losing focus of her priorities and not, doing things that truly matter or working on low value tasks that take her away from being where she wants to be. She's not sitting there believing, oh, I hope someday, I wish someday. No, she doesn't subscribe to that, because that's truly thinking it's always out of arm's reach. It's never going to happen, right? She's never telling herself that she's not good enough. She's not living in the shoulda, coulda, woulda land and just thinking, oh, I should have done this, and just rehashing her past and overthinking every single aspect of life. She's not living in what I call the happiness subtraction cycle, which is doing things to take away from your daily happiness, right? Like starting your day with doom scrolling or watching news that makes you feel fear, or hanging around with people that exhausts you, or doing anything that doesn't bring you joy, basically. Overworking, right? She's not avoiding the hard stuff, right? So hard conversations, hard decisions, acknowledging hard truths. And she's not putting herself at the bottom of the list and neglecting her self-care, which is leaving her showing up with that empty battery every single day, right? So when you get that level of specific on what you're going to do and not do every day, now you've given yourself an accountability checklist. And that is going to keep you operating in that place of taking action and going through life saying, I'm the woman who already has it. It's done because I'm doing this. And you're not going to be spending any time in impossibility, because you're not going to be living in that land, right? So you're just going to start showing up as the version of you who already has it. And I was watching, this is very silly, but I was watching Below Deck last night. I'm Bravo. Yeah, don't judge me. Okay, so I was watching Below Deck, and this guy had an opportunity to step up as the bosun on the boat. So he's like the main guy who handles the outside of the boat. And it was crazy because he's like, oh God, fake it till you make it, I guess. But that's, once again, like at some point, life is going to ask you to step up and you get to decide what you make of that opportunity. And I was like, please do it. I know you can. And I started like seeing him do little things and he was just showing up as the version of himself who was already the bosun who was in charge of the boat. And that is how he's going to get guaranteed his next role. He's just going to be the bosun. And I know that's a silly example, but this is every aspect in life. I think about all the times in life when I was working in beauty and my boss would leave and I'd be like, give me the chance. Let me be the boss. I will show you. I'm ready. I'm hungry. I'm going to show up as that version of me who's already wearing that job title, making that amount of money. And then guess what? I would end up wearing that job title for real and making that amount of money because I showed that I was capable of doing it. And I just became her that much faster. So anytime you start just showing up as the version of you and doing the things that that version of you would do on a daily basis, that's when you're going to be it. That's when you're going to be it on a very deep level. So when you saw yourself in that visualization and you felt that done energy who was already at her destination, what does that version of you do and not do every single day, right? Is she not wasting any more time gossiping or complaining or feeding any sort of negativity in her life, right? Like, what are the things that you need to cut that are keeping you from taking action as the woman who already has it? Okay. Is this making sense? Please email me for coaching if you need support going through this exercise, because I know for some of my clients, they're kind of like, I don't even know where to start. That's okay. If you've never thought about this before, if you've never gotten this intentional about this type of mindset work, it can feel really challenging to stretch your brain in these places. And if you've never really taken accountability for how you show up every day, I know that was a big thing for me when I started doing this personal and professional development work. I was like, what? Like, so don't go into confusion. You have me to help you through this. So email me and we will walk through this together. All right. So your goal for today's exercise is to get clear here first. This is where alignment begins. So let's recap this. So the 3-step formula that you're going to go through and start doing this every single day to get where you want to be by the end of 2023 is to define it. What do I truly want and why? Create your done energy. Who would I be and what would my life look like if it was already done? And to be it by working on this accountability list, right? So what is the version of me who already has it? What is she doing and not doing every day? So this is your homework for today. For day 1 of this challenge is you're going to create your success up formula by answering those 3 questions, right? And then creating this list for yourself. And then tomorrow, what we're going to be focusing on is generating the emotions needed to fuel your success. And you're going to be very surprised by what I have to say tomorrow. I am leaving you with a cliffhanger because this is not what you've ever been taught before. This is not anything that your brain has probably ever received. So you're probably going to be like, whoa, this is a curveball I didn't see coming. Good. I love surprising you, right? But I don't take the typical approach when it comes to growth, and the shit that I do works. I have a lot of evidence for that. So you're going to love this. We're going to challenge everything you've known tomorrow. All right. So remember, I'm here for you, my love, as your coach to get you whatever support that you need to help you through this process. So if you have any questions, if you have a block, if you have a mindset, like it feels like brain fog, whatever it might be, if you don't understand something that I've talked about today and want me to clarify, please email me. Once again, you can reach me at soulmakeupcustomercare@gmail.com. I want you to take advantage of me as having me in your back pocket as your coach, as your resource, because I've helped hundreds of women go through this process. I know exactly how to help you to create the exact success you desire. So use me. I understand where you're at. I understand where you've been, right? That's keeping you from getting where you want to go. I know what to do to help you move to the next step, and I've got your back every step of the way. Okay, so I will be back with you tomorrow to talk all things generating the emotions that you need to fuel your success. And remember, if you are loving this, share this with a friend. I want every single woman to get a taste of that beautiful done energy so she can start creating the success she desires. So you made it through day 1. I'm proud of you. I want you to pat yourself on the back and say, good job, me, because there's a million other places you could have been today, but you were here with me working on you. And this is your success guarantee. So good job, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow.